welcome back everybody. This is Space Engineers No Jetpack Survival. I am Cy Prime and we're going to continue building our large ship today. It's good to always have you here and let's crack on. Now we've had a little bit of feedback from the last episode where we built in a little bit more of this whole elevator system here. So part of the feedback was, you know, why don't you have cargo and refuel facilities on the ship? We're going to get to that. We're certainly going to have to do that. Other ideas was, you know, we could have the round to square adapter for this bit. The only problem with that is it's going to push this whole corridor out one whole block, which kind of breaks the flow with what I'm going to do. So we will be using those blocks at some point, just not in this point. And I think, to be honest, around about here, that's not so bad. I mean, it's all so compact and there's a lot going on here. You don't really notice that circular to square transition being a bit too abrupt. It's perfectly fine. Another idea was to combine these in with a T, it's like kind of a T junction, so we can have one exit which comes out this way. Not particularly key. I mean, it's a good idea if we were doing that. We're going to move this post anyway, so it does open up a little bit of this, but it doesn't really open up far. So coming out of here to go this way or coming out of there to go this way felt better at the time, but having thought about it, I'm starting to rethink the idea of having two doors from the elevator going to two ways into the same place. It's a lot of redundancy. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this door, we're going to remove this door and some of this corridor, and we're going to have this corridor actually go past instead, so that it's a way to the other side of the ship, and this way will be the way actually into the main part of the ship. Or do we do it on the other side? No, we're going to stick to what we just said we're going to do. Right, so here we go. My thoughts process is still going to be a bit scrambled. It's really hot here today. Got an ambient temperature in this room of about 30 degrees. Which I know for some of you Americans that's like a cool breezy day, but for us British, where it's really humid all the time, it's basically intolerable. Right. Yeah, I'm taking the door down. So that's got to come down. This block's got to come down. Yes, of course it's full. Right, we're going to have to brick in this bit. So we're just going to... Do we put a window on it? Nah. It's just a lot of extra effort for nothing. I want to make it really clear you can't get in this side. Now, at some point we probably will end up moving the event controller from the back of this thing to somewhere on the top, or even maybe building it in. In fact, actually, let's do that right here. I'm just going to build it into the wall here. Make it look like a part of the whole system. So, by event controller, let's see which way around is that supposed to go. That way? I think that works quite well there. Right. We'll just copy the settings over from one to the other. I think that works alright, that. Which means we don't really need that one. Or can't go that way. Don't think I can do it from the other side either, because we've designed it in such a way that... Nah, okay. Not very possible. Right. What we're going to do is we're going to come down. We can do it all from ground level. Yeah, that doesn't look so bad though, actually. It's not an interactable control panel, but it looks like part of the elevator. Right. So here, well, actually, we need to name this. So what have we called this one? Big Ship Elevator Doors Event. I'm going to call this one, and it doesn't help that that assert base things all over it, but anyway. Big Ship Door, Big Ship Elevator Door Event 2 for now. Good. Right, now what I can do here we've got these two things here, so I can start looking at how we did this. So it was piston position, so piston position, there we are. Was supposed to be equal to or less than. I don't know why they write it that way around. It's supposed to be less than or equal to. That's just the way it usually is written. 5% we were on. So we're going to set it to 5. And we're going to set it to the correct piston. Big ship elevator piston. Okay. What were the events we had in here? So on bar 1, yeah, just bar 1. Big ship elevator doors open and closed. Okay. I thought it was the cab doors that we did. No, that's on the sensor. Of course. Ship elevator doors. Oh god, which way around with it? Open and then close. Right, okay. So do that on here. Actions. Groups. Doors. Big ship elevator doors. Open. Closed. That should really be all there is to it. Yeah, that's literally all there is to it. So now I can remove this and all these weird blocks. This looks a little tidier now. It should. Yep. Well, that's the cab doors off that. Perfect. Cool, cool, cool. So, right, now we've only got one door into the elevator. That's a bit more normal now. Oh, little thing appeared. Don't know. Okay. But this way...
Inventory.
Got a lot of rubbish here. So this way can lead out. So out to like other areas of the ship now. So unfortunately I've got to move that before I can do anything. So before I do any of that, I need to put some sort of cargo system in here. Now I can put something in temporary, or I could put something in that's a little bit more long term. Personally, I kind of prefer long term. So I think what we need to do is get up to there and bring this line out. Where do we bring a... where do we put a permanent cargo container? Maybe we replace that whole thing with a pipe with a cargo container at the bottom. I'm full at the moment, so this is going to get really messy. I think we have to go down and sort of deal with some like inventory stuff first. Right. We're still going to have a little bit of up and down at the moment while we just set this up. So we're just putting ourselves into a better position to do future stuff. We also need to do something for energy. Oxygen, not so much of a problem because we do get oxygen on here. So we don't need to pipe it in to... well, we could actually pipe something into the base. Right, let's... just to confirm that we're not going to kill it. So that's holding all of that up, which is fine. We're going to ignore the banging sounds because that's still our drill all the way over there. It's just really loud. Right. A couple more pieces to take up. Right, this was temporary. I'm going to take these down. Got a feeling I'm going to need some of them blocks anyway. Right, we'll come back to the rest in a bit. I just need a way to get nice and high on here. Right, good, good. Now we need pipes. I know I've got some pipes in here, but I want the kind that's going to actually connect to the ground a little bit better. So these armoured conveyors, I think. Oh no, we don't need to go as far as armoured. It's not a section of the ship that requires it really. So we have to come out. I need interior plates. Oh, I know where I can get interior plates. Aha. Right, 1, And then do we go straight down from there? I think we do. So 2. Actually, no, we could do this with pipes. I think it would look better. 2. Yeah, same sort of materials-ish. Okay, so we're going to go with... I want a flanged one. That just looks a little bit better like that. I'm going to do... cross junction. I want to be able to pipe up and down and forward from here, because this is going to... I'm going to eventually probably replace that entire top beam, actually, because... very carefully anyway, because I think this could form a pretty decent spine for the ship, and we can just reinforce it along the side a little bit. We usually do have a spine of the ship sort of along the middle, and we build under, over and around that, but because we're starting from the bottom middle and working our way up and out, we kind of have to consider where that spine is going to actually be. So this would be a pretty decent spot. If you watch the old guide that I have around how to build a battleship, the 2 Idiots Build a Battleship guide, we cover that in great detail, but we're also covering that again in Space Engineers 2 as well. So here we're just literally reiterating the exact same principle. Okay, and then here we've got space for a cargo container to go in. Is it going to be untidy having it here? I don't think so. No, I think it's going to be fine. We can decorate it. Cargo 5. I mean, a cargo access panel port, a cargo terminal like this would be probably better. I think doing a cargo terminal facing that way might look a lot better than having an actual... I mean, it is still a cargo container technically. I think it just looks more the part, and we can put some sort of like access things on the sides of here. We also need a recharge station, which we could actually put on the side of this as well. Okay, so first things first though, we need to build this lot. So rather than just climbing up there, I'm going to go pipe and put the bits that we've got in here. So we have a flanged pipe. We have a corner. We have 2 straights. And then we have cargo access terminal full. I think that's it. Right, so that's the materials we're going to go for. Yeah, that just about works. Of course. Right, back down for more materials. What have we got in our... Oh, we've got a lot of... Yeah, a lot of steel plates done. We're still going to need a lot of that, so I'm not going to get rid of it. Right, so now we've got all that. I just need some sort of recharge terminal on here. So I do have one on my bar. I remember using one. 6. We can use a refill station. That's the right way up, I think. Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. Let's get it right. Okay, need metal grids. 2 displays. Oh, so much better. Yeah, that's a screen we can put something on to make it useful. We need something on the other side because that's a bit open and bare. I don't really like it like that. So what can we put on the other side? Let's see. What do we have access to here? What's new? Let's have a look in the... where is it? Fieldwork update. See what's new in here. We could... No, pipes thing's not going to really do it. Or maybe some sort of pipes thing. I mean, there's no rule that says whatever I put in there has to be completely useful. So we could literally run a pipes bit here and kind of run them along this to make it look a little bit more sort of interesting. I think maybe we junction here. Oh, do we do that? Maybe. Maybe not. I won't want to go sideways. No, there's another sideways. That's the sideways I wanted. We cut across here. I know it's completely superfluous at this point in the sort of game. Put that there. Pipe. 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 And this can also help hold things on, so to a certain extent this could be quite useful. I need to get up to reach where I want to go next. Okay. Yep. Nope, not that one. Let's get a turn. And here. Because here, in particular, that's where the doorway is. So I sort of probably want to go and do that. And then we want to turn it into the ground there, so it's not sort of looking like it's conflicting with the door. I think that works quite nicely. 1, 2, 3. We'll start with those pieces. Got a bit of a storm going on here. He's used some of the steel plates we've got, so that's good. I'm going to have to cover that back bit. At some point we are going to have to find... Actually, no, wait a minute. What I've just done there is made it impossible to airtight this part of the area off. It's not good. So we need to stop at that point and go into a wall part that fills that in. So for the time being, it's going to have to be something along these lines for now. I'm gonna have to get up there and change out these at some point. So let's ramp up to that side. Get ourselves a little bit of height. Now, that side's completely connected to the ground all the way across to there. That's connected to the ground. If I cut that, it's going to cut this off. So I can't quite do that just yet. I have to connect that to there underneath. Was that lightning? I don't know if I saw lightning or if I just saw something else. Oh no. This is the corridor, light armor panel. That's the most convenient one to take off, I think. In here, I probably want to put something, but that's going to get in the way a bit. I was talking about taking this block out anyway. I'm just going to have to take the hit. No, that's alright, that. Okay, now, we don't have the means to call the elevator here, so at some point we're going to have to put a button on, but for the time being, I can do it from here. Okay, elevator, big ship elevator, piston, big ship ele, piston. We're just going to have to reverse it. It seems a bit more smooth. Probably put a half block in there for now. Yeah. Seems like dust storms don't know how to fade out anymore. Okay, still a bit jittery, but it's not so bad that I'm jittering. It looks like it's kind of jittering without me. I can live with that. At least on the upwards rise anyway, so... Right, so I've scaffolded round all this, so now I should just cut that off. No, I can't yet. I've got to put one more block in. I think I could probably do it anyway, but I don't want to risk it. Now I can cut that off because it goes under and through there, so... And we can replace that. Well, we're going to have to run some sort of cargo line, probably sides of this actually, because we can't go through that.
Energy low.
Energy's low. Perfect. Yay! Right, we're keeping that. We can get rid of... Oh no, we can't get rid of that. Oh yeah, we can, because I think we're connected there. Is that a valid connection point? I'm not going to make the same mistake again. That would be really bad. What I can do though, put that there. Right. I think if I go at that, yeah, better. Get rid of that now. Keep all of this. It's going to be a wall. I'm not sure about any of that yet, so we're going to come back to that. That block there. That one has to go. Just because it's not where I want it. Right, so steel plate needed. Luckily, I could just do it from there for the minute until I cover it up. Oh, I need to get rid of all that. Right. Okay. Uh-huh. Probably not. Nah. Don't need that one. Right. We can certainly weld that up though. Right. We're going to want the same on this side. But before I do that... Okay, so that's all connected together fine. So there's no danger to that if I cut this off. All that holds this on, so technically all of this is safe to remove now. So we're going to replace that with one of these. Yeah. Now being here is no longer useful to me. So I can actually fill in the rest of these blocks. I should actually weld them before we try to go past them. Yeah, we can come out one more. Steel plate needed. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm walling off this section now so that it's completely possible to like visualize where the pipe's going to go. We're going to cut a hole in there, and we're probably going to, yeah, we've got one there. We're going to have to cut a hole in the opposite side so we can run two spines through here, so we've got like a redundancy. So we're just gonna no, not how that goes. That's how it goes. Good. Right, so basically that needs to go. Yeah, we'll have to go get that in a bit. Where did it land? It's just on the floor somewhere. Okay, you can go, you can go. You can go. Then that one I can get rid of after. Okay, not the most ideal, but okay. And while we're here, we need piping through here. Now, we've kind of gone with that sort of piping for this part. I think maybe we continued that, although that could cause a little bit of trouble when it comes to sort of building onto it and branching out later. So I think from here, we need to transition to the old style sort of connected pipes, or we occasionally have to put some sort of like a junction in. So it's a hard one because like we're going to run like piping through the ship, but we still need to be able to like wall it off and pass through. Actually no, we can use pipes like this, and then what we'll do is when we need to come off it, yeah, we're gonna occasionally put in like where we think it's going to be useful. I need interior plates. Oh, let me just do it rather than try and talk through it. Right, so we're going to do that. Now that's really close to where it's connected, so we don't really need to think about sort of piping up from there yet. So I'm just going to do that. I might have to do a bit of a jump down in a bit. Then here we do another flange that way, but here in the one place I can't get to, so we'll do that after. Here we need to put in one of these. So having these in occasional places gives us the means to pipe up from it, allows us to still use these pipes, allows us to build a wall above, sort of ceiling above it or below it, but also gives us the ability to cut the pipe at some point because they're connected at 2 points in the place where we're going to cut, so we're not going to cause problems, especially if we have to cut multiple times along the pipe. So that works nicely. Right, so we need, well, I can weld that up already, and that. How have I got these materials already? Right. So all this effort is going in, and this is just the first room. haven't got that on build plan yet. We have to do this on the other side. I mean, technically we don't have to, but I want to do it on both sides. So while I'm here, that wasn't very clever, really. Didn't hurt, but could have done. Okay, this uses a lot of materials, at least a lot of big materials. Okay, that's good. Right, so now we have no need for that, or that. Good. Anything flying around that I need to be careful with? Nope. You can go. Again, at some point I want to deal with this hole without having to have a silly railing around it, so may take that down shortly anyway. So okay, let's see. 1, 2, 4. Come on, there. Right, so that's that whole pipe completed. I think that looks pretty damn cool, actually. We don't need to put it on both sides, but it sort of gives some sort of story to how this is piped in without it looking kind of random. So that's kind of cool. We've got the big pipe behind it. Not too sure about what's going on behind that, but I think we can make it work if we mirror it or something. Yeah, we'll figure that out shortly. It's not in the way. It's going to be fine. Right, so here I'm going to need to do another big pipe on there. So I think we can place them from the ground here. I'm going to need some materials to do this. So we need... Come on, there we are. We definitely here need one of these. Then that I'm not gonna fill in the last one because I need to be able to get to that. Oh, I should be able to get to it anyway. Yeah, I can get to it past the pipe, it's fine. So then we put that way around. Right, now I need to contraption something to get up there. So I also need to be able to move across the whole thing while I weld it up. Had to just scratch my nose then. Here we go. Right. That's the same on both sides now. Good. Perfect. So now we've got this sort of like, it's like a piping room. It kind of looks like it's got some sort of a purpose. We need to do something about that. I'm not too keen on the way that is there. There might be some sort of block I can place on the back of it to make it make more sense. But yeah, I'm going to do more to this to sort of complicate it a bit more, just to make it look really kind of woo when you come in. Mostly because I want to sort of distract from any kind of potential sort of things like this where it doesn't quite look right. So we put stuff around to sort of draw the attention to where you want it, use lighting and stuff like that to do the same. But essentially here now we've got one way to get to the elevator. We're going to need some signage on here. So we'll put a sign above there at some point. One way to to get to the front portion of the ship, and I think this corridor will just basically carry on forward, I think. So where did I put my corridors on here? There they are. Corridors with lights, I think. They're always a little bit better. I think we come forward maybe one more because we can't really make use of any space beyond that. That means here we need to use some like half blocks or something to come across and sort of finish this bit off and have a whole block there. And 2, 3. So yeah, this actually makes more sense. It's like, otherwise it kind of begs the question too much for like, why do we have 2 doors on the elevator and they both go to the same place? What's the point? The reason I gave not to have them come into like one exit here was actually congestion. That's the reason I gave in the comments. And yeah, my thoughts are like, if you've got two actual players sitting on the elevator and they come out and they go the same, you know, different ways and go bang into each other, it can cause an injury. Especially if they're playing on an actual jetpack world and they're using a jetpack through the corridor. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but I've done it repeatedly. So yeah, okay, so this one comes out the front here. You don't see the elevator anywhere. That's great. We are probably going to have to build that up a little bit at some point. Cool. So now we're starting to see new areas of the ship start to emerge. This area is starting to get some sort of design language with it. I need to figure something out around this. I think railings are silly. There's no need, apart from maintenance, to have any kind of access or visibility of this area. This part at least. So we could probably put some sort of sheath around that and join it up with this a little bit. Just so it looks a bit more impressive. Yeah, so let's figure out how we're going to do something like that. I think I can probably... let's find the halfways.
Energy low.
Energy low. That's not quite right. That's not right. Ooh, what's that? Okay, no, that's not right either. Going to find what I want. Ooh. No. Aha. Can we circular around it? I think we probably can. I think if we do that, I think this is going to look better. I could probably go and put one more on top of this just to make it more... not without getting higher. Okay. Alright, okay, so those 4 there. One of these needs to be a door for access, so I think this will be a really good opportunity to use our lab doors, possibly. I think we'd do that. We'd do that on both sides, I think. Let's put it on inside, so we're not using this block space up. Looks like I didn't take any materials at all, apart from just the girder that I needed. It's a bit unusual. Yeah. Oh, I've put it the right way up. So I think I hiccuped at the same time I was talking then. Apologies. Yeah, that works all right. This side can just be a straight panel. Right, where's the ordinary ones? Not centered. Yeah, light armor panel. Don't need one on the last side. Yeah, see, this is taking up slightly less space than before, because we had a beam coming straight down here, I think. Right there, in this space. So we've opened that up a little bit. This doesn't use up, does it? I think it's not using that space, which means we can actually put a screen or something on the back of this. That's good. Right. What we do for the next bit, I think... let's see what options we have for the next level up from here. Okay, let's see where this takes us. So... see what we've got in terms of curved. Because... well, we could just carry on that one more up, but then we're starting to get a bit... oh no. Okay, we have to go somewhere else for a bit. I don't want the ship getting struck while the lightning tries to get me. I don't think it does target players, but I'm not 100% convinced that it doesn't. Not quite enough yet for that. We do have some decoys around the base, so I think I'm now in decoy range. Lightning storms have been stupidly dangerous. We'll just go down to our healing area because I've got like 3% health missing right now. We are still underground here, just about. This bit isn't. This bit is. Because like here, just above there is like ice behind this wall. And one layer down from there leads to our hangar. From here I might be able to actually see what's going on out there. Well, at least we get loads of power in. Oof. Is it gone? Huh. Yeah, weather no longer sort of moves on. It just comes immediately and then goes again immediately. It's very abrupt. I mean, it used to sort of travel. You would not believe it was thundering, like, wildly about, I don't know, 20 seconds ago. Yeah, never mind. Very strange. Yeah, there's a little bit of jittering going on, but it's not shaking me. At least not from my point of view anyway. Right, let's carry this on. Yeah, you see, normally you'd see that sort of travelling away and you see lightning on the horizon for a while. Essentially even could be that. But yeah, it's very weird. I think they need to fix that. Where were we? Right, we were investigating this. So if I put that on there, like, say like that, and then curve in one from the top, so it forms like a dome. It could be cool, but let's see what other options we have while we're here. If we dome in from here, now that's better. Because then we can still see like the top of the piston forming. Okay. There's got to be a piece for this bit. I think it might be that. Steel plate required. What am I full of again? Loads of rubbish again. Somehow I always end up full of loads of extra rubbish. Yeah, we put that in there. Now that I've started this, I should be able to just like kind of easily build the rest. And that connects it to the top of the piston, which gives the piston a bit more of an anchor, but has no influence over the bottom of it. Plus it's like another shape in the build, rather than everything being rectangles and squares, kind of getting a bit more of a curve in this whole build. I need to get this into here. Nope, that one. I wonder if that also makes this area like airtighted off from there. I don't think that's considered airtight. Probably isn't. It almost looks it. I think it won't be. If we were to panel into there, but the problem, this one's not airtight, so if we panelled once all the way around, wouldn't make the slightest bit of difference. So I think we're going to have to accept that as this stands, this room can never be completely airtight. However, there was a plan to do one more thing. I think everything we said we were going to do at the end of last episode has probably gone slightly out the window. You know, that's what feedback's for, though. To change everything. Right. So what I was thinking of doing here, actually, is when this is up, allowing us to be able to sort of bring some sort of hang a door enclosure over the top of this. It might mean making a couple of changes to some shapes here. So at the moment, that's like a half block there. Let's see what can we actually fit in here. Blocks, let's count them, because a hangar door block uses goes 3 blocks across. It has 1 block where it's stationary, so let's say that's there. And then 1, 2 where it closes over, and that's going to leave 1 not quite right. If we put 1 there, so it closes into there. See, we're going to have to either put them really close or have them quite far away. This is 3. You can't bisect 3 into 2 so easily. If we put it there, so it comes over 2, and then 1, 2, we put the next one here. It's going to mean moving that over a bit. Might have to move it over 1 more, actually. Okay, let's see what we can do with that. Airtight hangar doors. There they are. I can't believe they have had a revision, I guess, but I think we go with that kind. Maybe we go with the windowed kind. So they would have to go in like, let's colour it. So this, I like how it shows you where it would be when it's fully open. If I put that there, it's too much. If I put it there, it can get far enough away. I may have to make some changes to the way the ship works. And I'll have to also retract that piston first. We're going to have to do a retract on this. We're still connected via there. I don't want to just retract it like manually. I want to use the actual Oh, no, 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 no. It's a timer block. I can just trigger it from here. Materials access way over there. So we're going to need materials for this at some point. Oh no, materials access there. Duh. That's stupid of me. Right. So time connector event, extend, retract. We want to retract. So here, because it deals with the disconnection and everything all at once. So we'll see how high this goes, how clear of that area we get. Yeah, I suspect we're not quite fully clear of that block, so we couldn't remove these and put them in place of these. We're going to have to actually add them onto the bottom, I think. Yeah, I'm fairly certain of that. So some of this shape might have to change a little bit, but yeah, that's how these things evolve. So, let's see. Do we go windowed? Quite like the windowed ones. So, I think we have to go unable to place. I think that might be because we haven't got a block actually in place for it to anchor onto yet. I think that one. Like that. Yes. Right, okay, so those come out to just the almost the last block. So we need the next one about the rest of the way to there. I can put the first one on and then attach the rest of that. That's going to have to go at some point. I think we need to move it somewhere else. Simply because it's like really in the way. We might have to actually put... no, I don't want to put the feet on yet because... Actually, no, we can connect though. So we could put the landing gear on soon. For now though, I'm just going to... Oh, well, I missed that one. Gonna have to anchor it down over there. Before I do that, I need to put these on. Steel plates required. I've tapped the caps lock button. Right. There. There, so that's not gonna drop them off when I remove these. Now I can weld these just to make sure they're not accidentally removed. And put the last one of these on. I think we're going to need to skirt it across here as well. Right, more steel plates. Right, so that's these. So we're going to need a skirt across some of these bits, which means some of these floor pieces are going to have to come out. I don't know if we have anything mounted directly to them. Don't think we do. So, I think from here... that was weird. 13 steel plates just fell out of nowhere. That needs to go. Yeah, we'll have to go get that in a bit. Very strange. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to go up and quickly inspect if anywhere around that area is going to be caused a problem when we cut all that out on either side. Right, so it's going to go right across here and equally on the other side. We are absolutely fine. We can do that. And we'll have to figure out how to integrate it in with the ship's main shape at some point. That might be a later thing. Kind of just want this feature working for now. So... Lovely. 2 more. I don't care if it falls. One more, actually. Right, loads of bits all over the floor here, but that's fine. I'm going to put them back shortly. So these kind of need to be... Well, it can't be one of those because I have to be able to actually attach to the bottom of it. So it's got to be something that fits into there and gives us some kind of a surface to attach to. Might have to be even a slightly more advanced block. Nope. It might have to actually be one of them, I think, to be honest. We have to do the other side as well. Oh god, right, okay. Let's weld these up first. So we're probably going to have to rethink some of this edge bit as well. But, you know, we're kind of getting that shape in from here instead of having to sort of do it there. So it kind of does work out in the end. Right, let's pick apart. Where's our... There they are, right. Let's do the other side. This one's going to definitely drop stuff. Fine, whatever. Where's my... What shape did I end up putting in the other side? Oh. They're the wrong shape. They're all completely the wrong shape. Some of these might get adjusted later. As I explained in one of the comments, my method is very much do it first, make sure it works, fix it like aesthetically and functionally later. That way we're not spending too much time prettying up something that doesn't necessarily work. Right, so here I can put that in, and then I just need normal cube blocks here. Across some of these, followed by the opposite of that. So again, that's the plan here. Oh, that last one needs drilling out. Ah, wrong button. I can weld the other ones up from upstairs. And right, so that's the skirt that gets it airtight. And then it's because it's not airtight without skirting around it. Then obviously we need to weld these things up. So just use up our steel plates. Gonna get me energy, and then we'll weld the rest of those up after that. It's looking somewhat like we're out of steel plates. We're gonna have to do a little bit of investigating. Right, inventory, steel. We've got a bunch there. Have we disconnected? Has this ship somehow become... Oh, wait a minute. Yes, of course. We had to raise that to be able to do this job. That was silly. Right, okay, we could like reconnect that, but right now it's possibly going to hinder doing what we're doing right now. So we're just going to get some material. Actually, is it? Actually, maybe it's not. Okay, no, we're going to reconnect. We are going to reconnect. And we'll just try and do this the easy way. Yeah, note to self, if you disconnect the ship from the base, you don't get materials. Very silly. We do not actually have a button for controlling this yet, so I think what we need to do is, well, we need to get it connected, but then we also need to get a button on, but we'll do all of this first. We'll try and come back to that. So big ship connector extend, and I think all I need to do is trigger now. It should extend all the way down, auto connect itself. At some point we're going to need to modify all of this to make sure it opens up the sort of bay doors before that can go down, and that it reconnects the bay doors before it can go back up. So we'll figure all of that out shortly. Right, loads of steel plates. Okay, that's everything from there. We have to go back down anyway now. There you go. Right. So, now that we've got this slightly modified shape over here, and the same on this side now, so we'll be able to actually continue out this floor a little easier. This bit needs sorting out. We need to change the way that works. I think we don't really have anything on there that's going to be a problem, but first we need to just get all this working, because 3, 4, 5, 6 I think should be plenty. We don't need you anymore. Right, let's put materials back so we've got as much as we can. These take a bit of work, so we're just going to weld these up and see how we go from there. Okay, that is going to be a problem. By default, these things are closed, so we're going to have to weld all of them except for the middle two, then retract this, get the materials from down there. In fact, actually, while we're down there, let's just retract this anyway. Big ship elevator, big ship connector retract, that's it. Trigger now. Works flawlessly. Yeah, because when we come to do this side, it's not going to work, because these are going to like get in the way. So we can get our materials from here for the time being. And to think I was going to just sort of leave you while I do this and come back after, then you would have missed this whole little revelation. You probably knew that already anyway. Okay. Bingo, right. And I've got loads of materials left over, which is weird again. Have I missed something? We put all our materials back, and we took 6 of these, which is exactly what we've just used. We welded these up, and we ended up with materials left over. That is just... It's like when you take something apart and you put it all back together and you end up with that one mysterious bolt left over at the end of it. With no idea what that was for. Okay, it is what it is. I think that looks a lot better now. That's much better than having just a great big hole in the bottom of the ship. We could probably do something similar for this as well. Have a whole little sequence around it, opening up and coming down. Just looks really cool. It sort of finishes off the bottom of the ship. Plus, these are really strong doors. Right, we need to get back in. We need to sort out the whole sequence of how to open this thing, and then we can learn from that for when we do the elevator one. Okay, right. So this one is. It doesn't tell me the names until I click on them. So okay, this is retract. So when it's retracting, piston speed might be a bit of a little bit of an issue. Let's see. Okay, if it's too quick, we'll have to just slow the pistons down, I think. Right, set up actions. Okay, so when we do the retract, it's going to set the pistons to retract. It's going to toggle them on. We could have done this whole thing with velocities instead, which would simplify the whole thing down to one timer block. I wonder if it's worth... No, actually. Is it worth doing that? No, if we did one timer block, then we've got this whole problem of this comes down, opens these doors, and then the doors try to close themselves before this gets all the way up again. So I think what we need to do, we probably need to put a sensor in here somewhere. That doesn't go quite high enough to avoid the sensor though. So where would we put a sensor? Ooh. Maybe... If we had a sensor on there, so it detects these when it gets close, well, when it gets like to a certain range and these doors open, and then when they're no longer detected, they close again, that would actually work. And I'm really glad I put this door here now. Haha. Everything works out in the end, somehow. I don't know how, they just do. Right, can I just close the door? Okay. I can place a sensor there. Which way up does... Well, we need materials for it first anyway. Put all my random materials back. I didn't get everything I needed for that. Oh, it's because... Meh. It's because we're not actually connected to the ground anymore. Okay, let's just connect this into the ground first. No, I don't want to do that actually. We have to go down and come back up. We need it up at the top to be able to set the sensor field ranges correct. I'd rather do it with sensors because then it's reliable, and then we can do whatever we want to the way we actually trigger the connect thing. You know, see if we can get it onto one timer block. Right, that's better. And the sensor will be like totally independent of that. Okay. We have to be very crafty with the way we do the field range. Can I... Right. Now the question is, can that go on there? Oh, it can't. Because it's in the way right now, but it will be able to once we drop it down. So, okay, we're going to have to do extend anyway. Trigger now. Oh, crap, we haven't opened the door. Trigger now. Come back up. Door's not open yet. Right, let's group up those doors. Airtight hanger door. Nope, hanger... Warfare hanger doors windowed. Right, here we are. So just rename these. Big ship. Connect to hanger door. Copy. Copy A, duh. Control A, V. Control A, V. A, duh. Duh, duh. Right. And these can all be a part of big ship. We're going to have a hell of a job when we rename the ship. Unless we use a script. Hangar doors. They're going to be connector hangar doors. Okay. Now we have a group. Now we can open that group. It's a little off center. But that's because this is a 3 and you can't have hangar doors cut dead down the middle of a block. Right. Good. Now we've done that, I can now do trigger now. Good. And we can go down to meet it. Put our sensor on. Come back up, retract it. Oh, wrong way. And sort this thing out. I really want these doors to be automatic. I don't want them like on a timer block, because the timer block's going to be a pain. We need an extra timer to sort of figure out when to open and close these. And I want to try and avoid having a billion timers for every one task, because it just makes it really hard to diagnose a problem. Or fix it when it breaks. Okay, let's see. Can I... Oh, it's really hard to see which way up that goes. I have to guess that way for now. Yes, that's the right way up. You can see because the warning there. Lovely. Have we got... Oh, we got a sensor there as well. Okay. Oh! No, because that sensor's set to deal with the bottom of it. Right, okay. This sensor, though, is going to have to be set to deal with all of this. So we're going to want plenty of room. I'm going to have to retract it before I can set that up. It has to be in the up position. We're learning things. We are learning things all the time. Okay. Right, so let's retract this. I suppose one... actually, we could have just had that on 1 and then just trigger. Now we'll just do the opposite of whichever is current. Although, having 2 separate commands, one for open, one for up, one for down, means you can't accidentally reverse it thinking it's the other way. So, and it does handle the connect disconnect thing quite well. Actually, no, it's the sensor that does that, but you know. No, it's the event controller that does that. I'm all over the place. Right, admission. When I went here to, like, do this... I exited for a little while, aiming to come back and finish the recording shortly later, and it's now nearly a week later, so yeah, that's why there's a little bit of like disharmony or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I need to make sure that my sensor field ranges are on. I need to make sure that this one is show on hard, which is... somewhere there. It is. Okay. Bottom extent. Right, let's see. So that's the bottom extent there. Now, at what point do we want it to... See, this is the thing. We want it to close once the bottom extent is clear of the doors. So I need it to sort of just detect once it's clear of the doors. So like there is fine. Doesn't have to be any further than that. Ooh, actually there's a bit of an issue. What it's going to do is it's going to go through that bit. It'll open the doors. It'll leave the field range again. And then it will close the doors again. Ideally I need it set so that when it's in range of a block, the doors can close. I think we might need to put it on a... I think we need to put it on an event. Event controller could be a problem, because if this thing sort of twitches a little bit at all... No, I think we're going to have to put it on an event controller. This whole idea is just not going to work. So, okay. Don't say I didn't try. Certainly tried. Right. Okay. Close that. Where can we stash another event controller? I think we can put it here. That would be a pretty ideal spot. Right. I'm sure I don't have the materials for an event controller. And I know that the thing is up the top, so we're going to have to... which one's which? Retract. Extend. I'm going to keep those separate. It reduces the chances of accidentally setting this piston in the wrong direction. Right. Okay, so the way we're going to deal with this, I'm going to have to name this thing. So, oh no, don't do it there. Big ship connector event. Oh no, of course it's that one. I got it on my bar. Yep. Right. Okay. Big ship connector hangar event. Right. So again, on this one, it's going to be a case of controlled by the piston, piston length in this case. So piston position percentage. Now, one thing I worked out from watching the last time we played with the piston percentage thing back while I was editing, the piston position percentage is a percentage of the allowed range of the piston. So if you set the piston to be, let's say, 3 meters is the minimum and 7 meters is the maximum, it will consider 3 meters to be 0% and 7 meters to be 100%. So it will stretch that percentage range out as you increase the range the piston can use. So you don't have to start calculating like, okay, I've gone to like 0.5 meters minimum, what's that in percent? You don't have to do any of that. The minimum you allow the piston to go to is 0. So, right, so in this case, the threshold 0, we're going to say less than or equal to... Now, I don't want to set 0 because if we get a little bit of a twitch or a wobble or something and the piston stretches tiny bit, we don't want the hangar doors doing something. So I'm going to set that to 3%. No, let's set it to 4%. So less than or equal to 4%, we are going to find the right piston. So big ship connector piston. So we're looking at that one. Okay. And all we're going to do is say, right, when it meets that condition, we're going to go group hangars. Where's our hangar doors? There you are. Okay, when it meets that position, we're going to close the hangar doors. When it no longer meets that position, so the second it starts moving more than 4%, open. Yes, that's the way it goes. Right, okay. Finally. So, I should now be able to... Let's open this so we can see. We're going to trigger our retract event. And these doors should close as soon as the piston is pretty much in position. I didn't want to set it for like close it as soon as you possibly can, because then that means the piston doesn't have time to... Well, the doors don't have time to open when it comes back down the other way. It should start closing. Yes, there we go. So that little tiny bit of extra room to move there just means that we've got some safety margin in case the piston does a bit of a wobbly. Great. That's great. Now we need to put it back down again because I'm going to need materials. So, oh, which one was which? That's extend. Right. I need...
Storm inbound.
Oh, hell. Well, it opens in plenty of time. That's great. So that speed's good. Right, where's these meteors coming from? I don't know. Is anything going to hit my ship? It's quite a few. I think we're safe. Yeah, we're fine. Right. Okay, so now we have piston hanger doors that work by themselves, and that means this whole area can become airtight once the thing is retracted. I would like to be able to get it airtight whilst it's up as well. So we're going to see if we can get up there and have a look and see what we're dealing with that. It's this whole bit around here, and I don't think that's very likely to be... No. Okay. What would happen if I pulled that out? That's going to screw everything up completely, so we're not going to do that. Otherwise, what I could have done if these were square, I would have been able to actually build up around that area. I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a way to do that. I think if we put one of these in here, that'll hold the piston in place and keep it connected. Which means I can now pull that out. Let's just make sure we're not going to drop anything else. Everything on that side of that is connected to that wall. Everything on that side of that is connected to that. Everything on that side is connected to the wall as well. I think we can pull this out. Right, and we're going to put a really ugly square one in. Just because we have to. It also gives room to connect it in the same ways as before, so... Great. Okay, so now that means what I can do is I can kind of wall around this. I'm hoping that block there is actually airtight. I'm not 100% certain if it is or not. We'll find out eventually. Okay. So I need to put these in here and then close that off there. Right, in theory, we should have completely isolated our connector. Yeah, now we should have completely isolated our connector from this part of the building. Now we should have. Yeah. So that can work in complete, like, autonomy from the airtightness of this entire part of the ship. Which means here, we still need an airlock here. Not necessarily this corridor, because that's not going outside, but this one, I think will need some sort... Well, that's going to be an airlock. Potentially with this door, and we could just make sure that they can't both be open at the same time. And we can do that using the airlock script. Eventually. I think that should work just fine. We need to put something in there. That's ugly the way it is, so I think we kind of need to put something there. I'm thinking maybe more pipe stuff. If I put one of these... Oh, I can't put that there because that's there. Okay. That's not very happy. 5, 6, 1. That's pipe straight. G, pipe. One of them, pipe works. Isn't going to be airtight on that side. Just not going to work. Pipes junction, no. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, I know what we could do. Yeah, I know what we could do. I have to go back up there. I have to take that one off. I need an interior block. We don't have it on this side, so G, interior. We do need to put some sort of interior plate on here. I think instead of that weird block there, for now. Right, so what I can do is I can look for one that's got Ooh. That is the pipeworks block there. Now it's not airtight on that side. It is airtight on that side. Not on that side. It is on that side, but that could work. I'm hoping that side's in airtight. I don't trust it. Interior walls, box with limited lights, functions, interior walls, doors, ceilings, floors. No, that has to be airtight. If I put it that way up. I need interior plates, of course. I've got loads of stuff in my inventory again. I have no idea how this keeps happening. Right, I'm going to assume that that side there is airtight. Now with that there like that and a bunch of pipes sticking out in that way, it kind of looks pretty cool. So now what I can do is I can go into the pipeworks blocks, probably put something in that looks like it belongs. Maybe not you. Oh yeah, maybe you. And then that's too much of a junction. Aha, that's what I want. That way. And then here, we just need a nice little end cap or something. We can go that way. I like complicated sort of pipe stuff. It just looks kind of cool. Can I put that? Does that look out of place there? Does a little bit. I think we go straight and then that block there's a bit of a problem. Can't go straight. It's got to be a block that ends it. Something like that, maybe. Kind of hiding that piping though, so... No, I think we do a little bit of suspension of disbelief and go like that. I think that works fine. Right. I wonder if, like, Keen have seriously screwed up some material requirement stuff and it's causing us some bother because of that. I don't know. Something weird's going on though. Right, I definitely put everything back then and I'm out of materials right now, so when we finish welding these blocks up we'll see what we're left over with. No, my luck, it won't do it now. No, it's not going to do it now. So we're watching. Oh, we got an enemy. It's a drop pod. I can't be here for this bit. Damn it. It's going to try attacking me. If it can see me, so... Stop attacking the damn... Oh, you're attacking the aliens. They're all the way over there. Okay. I'm just going to let these deal with it. If they see me, they're going to start trying to shoot me and they'll shoot the ship. It could cause some significant damage. Why are these ones out? Are they out of our ammo? They might be Oh, it could be range. Alright, let's have a peek. These are just some simple blocks. Uh-oh. Yeah, knew it. Right, we need to increase our turret range. Okay. Let's see if I can control one. I can't control any of them. Okay. Oh, we're going to get so shot at. There's no peek around corners option either. Oh, I think they're all dead now. I don't know how. Got a bullet hole in my ship now. Did you all die? Yeah, I think they're all dead. I've not seen any move yet. I mean, clearly they have moved because they've left the place where they got dropped. Okay, right, I'm going to assume that everything's okay. Need some materials to... What do I have in... Oh, I've got some scrap. Okay. Put that back. Okay, we got away with that. Yeah, that looks alright. I'm quite pleased with that. Right, so we've got doors here. Got doors to the elevator, that's fine. That'll all be airlock when it's done. We now have our own like cargo access facilities on here and energy access. No health. We still have to go back to the base for health. All the way down to second subfloor. I need to check why some of these weren't firing. I wonder if it's just simply because they didn't have anything to fire at. Gatling, ammo. Oh, got a bunch of turrets without ammo right now. Okay. Let's see if we've got any magnesium left. Gravel, magnesium, 33. We've still got some magnesium. Oh, we've got loads of magnesium. Okay. Right. So, production. Are any of you making rounds? No, you're not. So, auto crafting. Text. Let's see if there's rounds on here. NATO rounds, 44 or 44. We need more than 44, I think. So, current wanted. I'm going to go with 100. And what we should start seeing is ammo going into these. Okay, still one here that hasn't got any ammo yet. Gatling turret type 2 is not receiving ammunition. That's the one right at the back near the walkway that we added in. So there's something up with that one. Let's see if we can get ammo into there. Oh, it will take ammo. It's just low priority, I suppose. Right, okay, good. So, ammunition things sorted. Should be in a better position. I got a load of welding up to do around there. That's so damaged now. Splash damage from lightning, I think. Because of these things. And maybe they got shot by the pod thing as it came down. Who knows? This bit I'm not too keen on. We're going to have to probably do something to mask that a little bit. This edge. I do like these blocks. They look great from one side. They're better like flat on the ground, I think. But we'll find something to cover this bit up with. at some point, so it looks a bit more involved. These big pipes are cool, but they're not as cool as these, which don't actually do anything but look good. Right. Okay. I think that's enough for this episode. We've done a little bit of greebling. I mean, this is totally ass backwards the way we're doing this, because normally I would get the general structure and function of a ship completed sort of before even putting anything like hull-wise on. And then I would start the greeble process and getting the detail in and making sure everything looks pretty and, you know, get some hull on the outside and everything. But now what we're doing is we're kind of building up from the middle up and out, and we're trying to complete each section as best we can as we go before moving on to the next one. So each part of the ship should start to look more complete, apart from a paint job, but each part of the ship should start looking more complete, should be fully functional before we move on to the next one. So this is going to be a more interesting build. Right, okay, now that I've got energy facilities here, it's probably worth just logging out over here and coming back from here and carrying on straight away. So actually no, let's go back to our usual spot, because I like the walk up to the ship because it gives me a chance to view it from a distance, see where we're actually at, take it all in, and then make some decisions on the way up. So we will do that. Just in time for a storm to start. Haha. Don't think we have any lightning stuff over that way. We're going to probably need to put something on, otherwise that's going to get struck to hell. Okay, so have a fantastic weekend, and all the other things that are going to come in between now and next time. And we will catch you next weekend for another episode of No Jetpack Survival. Bye for now.